Hi. How are you, little fella? So it is 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Sam wants to go up the hill. Unfortunately, it's like knee deep for me. It's obviously not knee deep for a Yorkie that stays right on top of the crust. It's a whole lot easier for him to navigate the snow. This is the advantage of being 10 pounds. As you'll notice, he's got his world's least favorite sweater on. We had to put it on him this morning because it's 7 degrees. Pretty cold. So I'm fully suited up. Figured he had to be as well because we're going to try and do some kind of a walk this morning. Sorry if I'm not holding the camera steady enough. Tricky walking up the road here. It's sanded up, so we're a non-slip surface right now, but it is still cold out. This is about 4 foot vertical. Good try though, man. Definitely a good try. What is it? Is that dog or is that fox pee or? If it was fox pee, you probably would have rolled in it. What you looking for? Sam definitely enjoys his hunting. He's the perfect size for this kind of activity. He did fight with the sweater a little bit this morning. Mom put it on and, well, he attacked it. He's not a fan of sweaters, but it's 7 degrees and I don't want him, even though he doesn't look cold, I feel like he should be cold. So actually the sweater's for me. So who's he tracking now? Whoever it was. Down across the river down there. Yeah. Can't tell from here how big the prints are. Can you? I can't. So it could be fox. I don't know if it's coyote or not. There's definitely been a lot of coyote around here lately. Something we've been keeping an eye on Sam over. But it is a pretty big print. Actually, that's a really big print. That is definitely coyote compared to Midget's feet here. Yeah. Yep. Good times. Just one more thing to keep an eye out here. So we're up checking on one of the neighbors' places. I don't know what these tracks are because they're kind of like looks like coyote, but I'm not sure. It might be something else. And that's an offset pattern. That's definitely not raccoon or skunk, maybe. I don't know, but there's like a whole highway up here. It's pretty crazy. Somebody is obviously they live here. You got a whole series of paths all over the place. Pretty cool. Well, it's quiet up here during the normal off season. That's me, obviously. That's human tracks, but yeah, all the rest of them. Them's critters. Sam, come on. Hey, don't you eat anything up there. What do you think, Sam? He's having a good old time. He loves walking around out here. There's plenty of things to smell out here. Lots for him to do. As long as he doesn't get his sweater hung up on something. Then I'll have to go rescue him. Don't feel like doing that today. Here comes the great hunter. Boy, he can move incredibly fast on that terrain. See, if you were to try and walk up there on your own, you'd sink down. Probably not too deep because the snow's not too deep right now, but well above the ankles. And as that doesn't sound terribly draining, just try it. So here on the East Coast, we're having a major shortage on rock salt. So like the municipalities are almost out of it. The guy that we have here on our road, he uses this stuff here, which is like it's a chip stone. So it's kind of reminds me of the gravel that we used to use back in the old days. It's something that gives you traction, but doesn't necessarily melt anything, which is fine, because that will give you traction. Rock salt generally doesn't. So back when I had friends that were sanding commercially, they'd usually use like an 80% mix where there's 80% sand, and then the remainder was salt. And now I notice a lot of the municipalities, they are just using 100% salt, and they're starting to run out of it. I don't remember there being any shortages on sand, and there definitely aren't any shortages on sand now because they don't seem to be using that anymore for sanding, which is kind of, well, it's in the name. So I'm not exactly sure when this shift happened. I just sort of noticed that when they were talking about the shortages of salt here on the East Coast now. Like New York couldn't get any at all. I think Massachusetts isn't too far behind because everybody's using like 100% salt mix. And it's, hold on. Let me help you. I'll get you. Okay, keep going. Anyways, that's one good reason for it. I'm right up to my knee. Yeah, you gonna help me now? Anyways, that seems to be all right. You're gonna head home? Yeah. That seems to be the reason why we're running out, is because they're just using 100%. And they're not using any of the aggregate anymore for whatever reason. Like I said, I'm not sure when that fundamental shift happened. It sort of happened when I didn't even notice it, because I'd been out of the business. You know, I didn't have any friends anymore that did that kind of work, and just never really noticed it until a couple years ago. Every once in a while, I'd pull up to like an intersection, and the intersection, there would be a pile of salt, and I kept thinking, geez, my friends would have been fired, because if their bosses had seen them pull up to an intersection and not shut their sander off, that would have been it for them. You know, unless they wanted to pay for that material out of their own pockets. And now you'll see like 3 inches of just pure salt on the ground. And it's weird because, you know, when my car hits it, I hump up and over it. It's like a speed bump. Hey, get back down here. And see those ears pop up there? And that just seems to be the reason why we're running out of salt, is because that's all they're using now instead of mixing it. Just an interesting little side note on how things change over the years. All right, well, enough of that. I gotta get this guy back, even though he's obviously not cold. I don't think that pricker bush would have actually grabbed his fur. It's just better at grabbing sweaters. He would have been fine if it was just him out there. But that's why I like having him within eye shot, because you're never quite sure if something like this is going to trap him. That's why I hate the sweaters too, honestly. What you doing? He only came down because I promised not to put the sweater back on.